Hi, this is Keith. Hope y'all are doing all right today. I'm going to play and talk about one of my tunes today. This is a tune called Freewheeler for Kenny. It's for Kenny Wheeler. Actually, he was a great trumpeter, flugelhorn player, composer, band leader, did a lot of records on ECM records. He just passed away a couple of years ago. He was a big influence on me as a young musician, and he's been a big influence on my writing. I actually had the chance to meet him in 1985 at the Banff Jazz Workshop in Banff, Canada, and that was a great experience to get to meet him and play with him a little bit and talk to him. Anyway, this piece is actually two parts. I'm going to do the first part right now. If you like, you can download the lead sheet from my website, keithdavismusic.com. There's a page there that has some of my lead sheets, and like I said, you can download it and follow along if you'd like to do that. So I hope you enjoy it. Freewheeler. All right, so here we go. Freewheeler for Kenny. This is part one again. So this tune, it basically has 4 sections plus an interlude, which also serves as an introduction. It's in F minor, and which is the relative minor of A flat major. That's something to keep in mind. A lot of it is diatonic to the key of F minor. The intro, I'll just talk about the intro first. The intro is just an F minor, vamp, F minor to G flat major 7. It's really just one note different. It's basically in the key of F minor. That's the key of F minor, natural minor. And then the G flat is Lydian, which is really F Phrygian if you think about it. So the only difference between those two scales is G natural or G flat. I just like to think of things as Lydian. It just makes sense to me. And it sounds, I think of that kind of voicing over that G flat major 7 over F minor, or over F. And you get this tension, you know, between the G flat and the F there. Get this tension over the F minor, this one over the G flat, right? So, okay, so vamp. Okay, so again, this tune is basically 4 sections with an intro and an interlude. It has 2 A sections. Basically, it's A, A, B, C. The first two A's are in F minor, first and second ending, and then so let's talk about that first. Basically, the first 8 bars is diatonic to the key of F minor, except for that 2 bars where it goes to G flat. Chord there is that C7 chord, which is, you know, the 5 in the key of F minor, and on that chord we have to get an E in there to make it a dominant 7 chord, right? So then the scale we get is a harmonic minor for that 1 bar, that C7. But you can also, with harmonic minor, you have flat 9 naturally occurring. You have flat 9 and flat 13, right? But you can also have sharp 9. It's part of the key center. So I like to think of that, instead of just changing that leading tone, changing that E flat to E, I like to just think of adding E to the scale. That way I still have flat 9 and sharp 9 over that dominant 7 chord. And that happens on a couple of other places here in this tune as well. I'll try to talk about that too. So again, I'm going to play through the first section, and then I'm going to go to the second ending. I'll talk about the second ending when we get there. Back to the top. Okay, so there we have a chord key change. On the second ending, it changes to the key of G minor. We get a 2-5, and the bridge goes to G minor. So everything else up to that point has been pretty much diatonic to the key of F minor. You get this D flat 7, And you know, I have D flat over C, but you could think C minor. You can just think about it that way. Either way, however you prefer when you play through it yourself. Right? It's all diatonic until we get to the... So there's another place where we have that D7 can have flat 9 or sharp 9 or both. Okay? Right? So then that just walks down F in the bass, and then we get to E in the bass, E over G minor. G minor over E, which is, it's like G minor 6 if you think about it, which is the same as E minor 7 flat 5, which is interesting because the next thing that's going to happen is that's going to move to E flat 7 and then change keys to A flat minor, right? Even though I have written there a B flat minor 7 flat 5, a 2-5 go into A flat minor, but the E, the G over E, also functions as like the 2 chord of E flat 7, right? So you could just leave the B flat out entirely, but it works really well with the melody. I actually, when I solo over this tune, I just think of basically the E minor flat 5 to the E flat 7. You know, I don't really think about trying to solo over that, include that B flat minor 7 flat 5 in my soloing necessarily. It's easier, it goes by so fast, it's easier just to think of it as E flat 7 for that whole bar with the flat 9. Again, flat 9, sharp 9 if you like, flat 13, fifth mode of A flat harmonic minor, which is where we're going here, except it's natural minor at first, even though the melody, so now we get to A flat minor, which is not really related to any of these keys either, but you know, A flat minor, A flat major, it has some kind of relationship. So the melody has a, but it's just a passing note. Okay, so all that is diatonic to A flat minor key, which is relative to B major 7, right? E major 7 would be Lydian in the key of B. That would be the 4 chord, and then it goes down to this, which would be the 2 chord in the key of A flat minor, right? No, I'm sorry, that's not right. The 2 chord in the key of B. so it's like I'm going to go to B suddenly, it sounds like, but instead I go to C7 to F major, right? So that's a little surprising thing too. Actually, I haven't changed this on my lead sheet. I just realized when I started playing this, I actually changed this to F major from F minor, just to have a little change of pace there. Sort of changes the mood suddenly for a brief couple of bars, you know? So I'm going to F major there, even though with this C7 and the melody sounds like it's going to go to F minor, but instead it goes to F major, right? So the bridge again, it goes to G minor. Right? Then we're back to the key center of F, even though it's F major momentarily. And then back to the G flat over F. And then this is still diatonic. D flat, major 7, Lydian. And then there's that G flat again. So now we've got a G flat Lydian. Again, little slight change there. I could get away with playing, you know, but I like those tensions. Right? And then we're back again to D flat. Here this is D flat major 7 to C7, sharp 9, flat 9, minor. So this D flat, I like the D flat. I could play D flat 7 there, but I like this sound. I like this tension. And also, actually, it's really like, it's almost like 2-5. This is like G minor 7 flat 5. It's the same thing. It's all diatonic to F minor. So this is really like 2-5. It's like G minor over D flat. So I'm going to just play through the tune now. I should say one more thing. Right here, before I go to the F major 7, there's a bar of D flat minor to C7. Actually, I changed that into 2 bars when I play the head, just for a little dramatic effect, you know. extend it out to 2 bars, but when I'm soloing over it, I'm just thinking of that as 1 bar. So, all right, I'm just going to play it from the beginning. G minor, A flat minor, F major, okay, take a little solo. The second part of the tune, I transition into 3/4. Okay, and then it goes into the second part. On my CD, when we get to the transition, or sometimes when we play it live, I give Justin a drum solo there, and he brings us back in, and we go from 4/4. Justin takes a drum solo, brings us back in 3/4. Of course, if I'm playing it by myself, I do the transition myself, or sometimes when we play it as a trio, I'll do that as well. But generally, okay, that's it. I think I don't know if there's anything else I meant to say. The F minor, the G flat over F minor, it's a little ambiguous. I mean, you could still play the same scale. You could play natural minor over it the whole time if you wanted to. You just get this kind of. So then it's like D flat, major 7. So it could be either one. You can play around with it. There are a couple of places. Another kind of ambiguous place is down here where it goes D flat, major 7. This is Lydian. It goes to B flat minor. Well, if it's the same as D flat, then that's Dorian. But if it's the same as G flat, then that becomes natural minor. So, but there are a couple of places like that where you can kind of play around with it. And of course, you can always do whatever you want. I mean, it's jazz. You can improvise. You can go in and out of the key, do whatever you want. You know, you can change the chord qualities as you get more into it. But basically, as a starting point, what I just outlined is how I think about it. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed hearing me play it a little bit and talk about it. And I hope you'll play some of my tunes. Go to my website, download some lead sheets, and I'm going to eventually have recordings of all of my tunes like this in this kind of format where you can see me playing them on the keyboard. So anyway, go buy a CD and support jazz. Thanks a lot. All right, so I hope you enjoyed hearing me play Freewheeler, the first part of it, and talk about it a little bit, and you know, describe how I think about it harmonically. And please go to my website, check it out, download some lead sheets, and enjoy playing them. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. And buy a CD, or listen to some videos, watch some videos. Okay. All right. Take care. Thank you.